This episode of Nintendo Pow Block is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support Nintendo Pow Block and the Boss Rush Network, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Rush Network and see which tier is right for you. Thanks for your continued support. Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host, and I'm excited, and joining me is the one, the only Bossman himself, Mr. Corey Derrick. Hello, good sir.
Hello, Edward. Happy, what day is it? Sunday. Happy Sunday. I'm all thrown off because I'm off tomorrow. Sort of. Technically. But still have to work tomorrow. Anyways, hi. Hello.
Hi. Where's the energy at? The hotness.
I'm really sore and really tired. And I have show and tell, though. For later.
Yes.
We'll do it later.
And everybody, she is back. This icon, this legend, this queen, the sophisticated Miss Stephanie Klimov. Hello, from the Boss Rush Podcast and
So
After Dark.
happy to be here.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
How are you?
I am tired and sore as well. Probably not as much as Corey because he had to mow the lawn and I didn't. But that's all fine because I'm here with you guys. So
Yay!
We're all here.
Hopefully everyone had a great Memorial's Day. I kind of had a situation earlier this week.
When don't you have a situation, Ed?
Well, I had a nosebleed, and
right. The one I told you to go get checked out.
Yes,
right.
And
that one.
it healed up in 2 days. I didn't really have to. I had to just get some Afrin.
2 days.
Because
2 days.
my
It should heal instantly.
I spoke to my pharmacist and everything and stuff. So she was just like, it may take a couple of days and stuff. So I had my Afrin. I made sure my nose was clean. I sprayed it, and then just let it do its work. The Afrin did help because it clogged it up for like 12 hours. And then I would get up, clean it out again, spray it just in case, and then. Yeah, by Thursday, I think it's Wednesday. It stopped. So it's good now. Nothing to worry about or anything. So
I'm glad you're feeling better. There's nothing more shocking and a little scary when all of a sudden blood comes gushing out your nose.
yeah,
Oh.
it's like my first nosebleed, and it just happened out of nowhere. I'm like, what the heck? So, yeah, I was just not in shock, but just like, where the heck did this come from? And so, because when I felt it, I thought it was snot and everything. So I, or mucus, and I went and like cleaned myself, and there was just a whole bunch of blood. I'm like, what the heck? So yeah, but everything is good.
I knew a guy in high school whose nose would bleed like every other week. He would get a nosebleed.
Wow,
Really
that sounds like a really low quality of life.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. I think he's fine. He's fine. He's alive. I think he has kids, and I don't know. I stopped following up with a lot of people. It's okay. Yeah. Nintendo. Mario gets nosebleeds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is Dr. Mario, so.
Oh yeah.
So. Well, how about we get into some housekeeping, you guys? If you want to support Nintendo Pow Block and the Boss Rush Network, you can head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Rush Network, where you can get our supplemental show, Expansion Pass, 2 weeks early and ad-free, and other perks like early access to other podcasts, voting rights, and more at the tier that's right for you. Again, that's patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. To let everybody know, for Expansion Pass, there has been some episodes recorded. Hopefully you guys will be. Yes. I have I have two solo episodes, and I have a special guest episode. I have told you this. I thought you have checked the Pow Block thing, and
I never check it. That's
okay.
yours, Incaster.
Oh, oh, well, yes, there are episodes, everybody. There's 3 episodes that is recorded. And so they will be available sometime in the future. And they're really good episodes. I had special guests, Frankenstein Gaming, join me. And we had a really great discussion. It was really good. So I cannot wait for you guys to see that episode. He's very chill, very great guy. And I told him, hey, you want to come on Power Block, or you want to come to Boss Rush, and or anything, he's welcome. And so I think you're on mute, Stephanie.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was saying goodnight to my son, so I was trying to keep everything off air.
Yes. So yeah. So that is just some updates about Expansion Pass at this time, everybody. Corey, do we have any more housekeeping or anything?
I mean, we have a couple spotlights coming out. When the day this comes out, Stephanie and I will have done a spotlight with Astral Clock Tower Studios. We have the Joe Telesque Guardians Mental Health one is out already, so you can go check that out. And then sometime in the near future, you will hear another spotlight with the devs behind the game Fretless, which we experienced at PAX in one way, shape, or form. So check those out. Very excited for those. And there's a couple more in the works that I'm trying really hard to get. We'll see. But TBD on those.
Yeah, I'm doing some outreach too, but unless I get some dates firm, I don't want to kind of announce them. So
yeah. Other than that, I mean, I'm trying to get some other content out the door that aren't podcast related. Also, the Destiny podcast I co-host is hitting episode 200 this week, and we're doing it live
nice
on Twitch and YouTube, so you can check that out.
Sweet.
We are doing a bunch of giveaways. We're doing a bunch of prizes, and community is going to join the show, and it's going to be interesting. So I gotta get that all up and running sometime in the next 3 days, because I haven't started testing anything yet, but it'll be okay. I can figure it out. I dabble. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now. So yeah, I have 4 unboxing videos I need to edit, and I have like 10 more to shoot.
That's what's causing me like so much quote unquote delay for me starting my Let's Plays is I'm so basic with my editing skills. Like I have the tools technically. I have my webcam, I have OBS, and I have DaVinci Resolve, but it is so overwhelming. I did a test run of when they released the free Silent Hill game, Silent Hill: The Secret Message or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was okay. I mean, I made bare minimum edits to it. So do you really call it editing? Probably not. So I don't know.
But that means I really don't edit this show. Very bare minimum editing.
I know. Like I told Corey this, Stephanie. I'm like, I hope for Xbox sometime in the future or their next console, they'll allow you to stream on YouTube, because streaming on YouTube is very easy. I do my,
You can stream to YouTube from
not Xbox. From your Xbox.
Yes, you can. I promise you can.
Playing games.
Yes, we've had this conversation.
Is it easier than PlayStation? Because PlayStation, remember, you have to have like a bigger account.
No, you just for PlayStation. it's just I think you go to like the video settings or whatever,
Yeah.
and then you can just like stream your game straight from there to YouTube.
Yeah,
It didn't link up. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you have to go into your YouTube settings and make sure all of those things are enabled, though. So it's a YouTube thing. You have to just go into the settings and flip the switch that says, yes, I do want to stream. Yes, I do want my videos to be longer than 15 minutes. Yes, I do want to hate YouTube forever. I don't know.
All right.
Because like I stream Gree on my YouTube channel, so for my PS4, so all of that is there, and it was just so easy to do.
Okay.
And everything.
See, I just suck. I don't know how to do anything.
Right, I didn't know you could.
Right.
Yeah, I just thought that. Yeah, for YouTube, I just for Xbox, I didn't know there was like an app or anything, because like I know PlayStation made it easier, but I like because I want to stream games to the YouTube or to YouTube with my Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm in the process of figuring all that out, so there will be extensive notes for everyone once I figure that out.
Yeah.
I mean, I know how to do it. I just have to do the other part, which is the annoying part, which is turning one of these Mac machines into a Windows machine. And I don't want to do that because it's annoying and stupid, and I don't have the right mouse and all these kinds of things. So,
Yeah.
you know.
All right. Well, everybody, it's time for Snacktendo. And how should we do this? Who wants to go first? Because I have something I want to show, but I kind of want to save it for last.
Well, then you go last.
Okay. Well, Corey, what have you been snacking on?
Well, I really had just Chipotle this weekend, and it was delicious. But it was like the best Chipotle I've had in a long time, and our Chipotle kind of sucks. We got, let's see, I got the El Pastor chicken or whatever it's called, and yeah, it was really good. I didn't put any fluff in my burrito. It was just chicken and rice and corn and salsa and cheese, and that's all I got, with extra meat and extra cheese, and it was really delicious. And it's kind of it.
That's it.
I really haven't been snacking on anything. I wish my snacking was better. I had a couple cookies. Does that count? Some off-brand Oreo cookies. The Benton sandwich cookies from Aldi.
Were they delicious?
Yeah, they were fine.
Oh.
The Aldi cookies. See, the sugar frosted and the oatmeal Aldi cookies, top tier.
I don't do oatmeal cookies. I'm very picky when it comes to cookies.
Oh, their oatmeal cookies is.
I'm an awful food person. I'm extremely picky because I'm a loser. So,
so many picky people.
I know.
Well, speaking of picky people, I am surrounded by picky people. So I was lucky enough to go out with a friend that's not a picky eater, and me and my son went out with them, and we went and got pho. I am always tempted to call it pho. I know it's pho. Oh, it's so good. I got pho with pork, and they showed me where the spice was. I took a scoop of the spice and I mixed it, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, your bowl of soup's almost red. It's gonna be too hot for you." I'm like, "You're just white. Let me try it out." And of course, it was. I was kidding, lovingly joking. It was spicy, but I've just grown up with that kind of spice, so it ended up being just the right amount of heat. If I did have more, then maybe the taste would suffer. But man, I haven't had pho in a long time, and it was so good. And even though my son didn't get that, he was still a good camper. He ordered steamed dumplings. He had some orange chicken, and he was a happy camper. So that's it's more of a food than a snack. Nothing crazy with the snacks. I was gifted a 1-pound chocolate bar from Trader Joe's, and I finally polished that off after 2 weeks. Oh my gosh, I love it. Just a solid block, like a cinder block of milk chocolate. I love it.
Delish.
Yeah. So, and then last but not least, I also was gifted some like sour strips. I haven't really eaten traditional candy in the sense for a long time. I just, I don't. If I ever indulge in desserts, it's usually a sweet.
Mhm.
Um, but man, I forgot how much I love the sour strips are. The sour strips. They used to be one of my favorite candies as a kid, so it took me back. My favorite are the green sour apple and the red, I don't know if it's like cherry flavor. So yeah.
Nice. Well,
Right. All right, Ed.
uh, for me, I had sushi today, this Sunday. Went to Tensuke's, and I got the Oregon, which is the rice wrapped around tuna, avocado, and spicy mayo, like they special in-house made spicy mayo with salmon at the top of it. Really, really good. And then I got just like, okay, while I, ate my miso soup and ate my sushi, I felt good. I'm like, let me go just shop around in the market and see what's up. And I'm going in and I'm looking and I see this particular item and I ran and brought it. It was like $9. Everybody.
Drumroll.
So it's a owl with like gummy fruits in it, like big gummy fruit in it.
Ooh.
On top of it is a thing for you to put your coins in. So it's like a bank also. And I kind of want all you elite block agents to give me a name for this owl. Now, of course, it could be Owly or something, but I want a name for him. Because like I said, I seen this and I ran and I'm like, I must have this. It's like the cutest thing for it.
Mm, so cute. All right, everybody. That's all y'all's homework.
Yes.
Homework.
So anyone who's listened to the audio version of the podcast, hop on YouTube and check out Snacktendo and see how the owl looks. I got some Pokemon cookies with
Ooh.
in it. Of course, I got some Pocky with the banana chocolate flavor. I love those.
Yes.
I got some Pokemon with Captain Pikachu. These are like some juice kind of trappings with flavors.
Juice.
I got the Koala March, the regular one, the vanilla with the chocolate in it. I love those.
Ed, where do you get all these nice snacks?
They're at a Japanese market in close to Chicago. In it. And then I have this thing called Caplico. It's strawberry and chocolate. And everything. And it has like a ice cream cone with strawberry running to go get the chocolate, and then in the back it shows you like how they made it and stuff. So
Dude, the Japanese have some of the best snacks, but also B, the cutest snacks.
And then last but not least, I got some caramel pudding. That's like in this nice glass. So it's really, really good. I cannot wait to eat it and for it. So pretty much that's it. Oh, my one of our associates on Saturday brought Dunkin' Donuts for us, and she got me my jelly donuts with sugar on top of them, not the powder one, and then my Boston cream donuts. It was so good, and accidentally I dropped some jelly on my Boston cream, so of course I still ate it, and it was delicious. Mixing their jelly with the Boston cream, I'm like, oh, this is a good mixed combo. I'm like, I need more of this. So, but yeah, but pretty
Ed,
much
you're
that's
making me
what I've
hungry.
been snacking on.
Making me hungry, man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been snacking on.
You know what I have to make, Ed? I'm gonna have to bake Ed my Boston cream pie cake.
Yes.
Find a way to ship it over.
Yes. So, But everybody, that's what we've been snacking on. It's time for Playing with Power. So, guys, how should we do this? Because we all been playing one particular game. Should we wait to the last minute for it, or how do you guys want to do Playing with Power?
Is this the ironically not Nintendo game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we should just talk about what we're playing first, and then we can all have a Hellblade discussion.
Okay.
Spoilers. That's the thing.
Okay. Well, I'll go first on this one. I've been playing Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door. Love this game. It looks so beautiful. I'm not worried about the frame rate. The game is once again is funny, and it looks beautiful with this HD. Like it looks way better than the GameCube. And I'm like, I don't even care about the 60 frames per second. This game it feels easier. And it's just like more detail. It's like it's so polished, and it really makes me think of the Paper Mario game that came on Switch. Just like it's so good and it's so funny, and I'm putting 1,000 hours in it. And once again, Nintendo and the soundtrack is a banger. The soundtrack is so good. I'm just like, oh yes, I love it.
I bet the color pops on the OLED screen.
Oh yeah, it does. It does.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. Ghost Story is another game that I'm playing. I'm making some more progress in that, and after Image, when I playing that on Switch again, I'm finally finding some new things. I'm still trying to get this particular door open so I could be able to beat more of the game. But other than that, that's pretty much what I've been playing. I did also pick up Hurricane Chronicles for Switch, but I am waiting for the update for Switch, the patch, because they said that it's a mess playing on Switch right now. And once the patch comes, and it fixes some bugs and things, then it should be good to go to play. So, that's what I'm playing with Power. And then our discussion for Hellblade 2 will be what I'm also playing. Stephanie, what are you playing with Power?
So I unfortunately was not able to start Paper Mario because I don't know if I pre-ordered it too late from GameStop, but it hasn't even shipped yet, and I ordered it on Thursday. Pre-ordered it on Thursday.
Ooh.
Wednesday or Thursday. So I'm really upset. But that's fine. Technically, I should be finishing Ghost Trick Phantom Detective first because that's the game that I'm playing on my Switch.
Yes.
Yes. I ordered the physical from Play Asia, and it's been sitting in my backlog. And other than the month of May, this has been a backlog year for me. So I finally got to Ghost Trick. And again, it's one of those things like, man, I'm really glad I kind of joined Boss Rush and I'm in the podcasting community so I can learn about and go back to these games that, I hate to say it, like mainstream, quote unquote, gamers, quote unquote, might not know about. I love it. It is so endearing. I love the personality of Sissel, and I forgot the girl's name, the redhead. She's my favorite. She's like one of my favorite female protagonists now. She's just so sassy, and I love it. And they keep the mystery going, and the play mechanic. It's different. It's puzzle focused, and normally I hate doing puzzles in games. I just want to enjoy a story, but it's just done so in a way where it's enjoyable. I love the art style. It's colorful. I'm just having a grand old time. I think I'm near the very end, like the climax. So I'll probably finish it by the end of Memorial Weekend. And that's kind of
if you finish the submarine area, then you're closer to the end.
Submarine. Oh, okay. Maybe because I how you go by time? I'm at like 10:55. So I thought I'd be kind of close because don't you have till like midnight before you disappear?
You do, but there's different levels at that time.
Oh,
At
okay.
those same times that you're doing. And so once you get to this kind of level, everybody, I brought it and beat it on the DS. and it's from the same team that did the Phoenix Wright, using this rotoscope graphic style for it, and it's in the same vein as like Hotel Dust 213, where it's like this game is so good, but it's such a niche game because so many people didn't pick it up and play, and it's been years that game has been out. So now that when Capcom brought it back and everything, hopefully people get a chance to go play it because it really, really is good. It's so funny, and it's one of those games that's so different that no other developer or publisher has even done this art style. Ghost Trick is the only one that has done it. Well, and some people might say, well, what about some of the adventure games like Out of This World and stuff? I'm like, that's different than what they did with Ghost Trick. So
now, was this a port or a remaster of the DS, or is it a?
This is a remaster of the DS. Yeah.
Well,
so it's
thank
still
you,
the
Comcast.
it's still the same.
Capcom. I almost said Comcast. Thank you, Capcom, not Comcast. So even though I haven't finished it, I do very highly recommend if you just want a fun time, something different. Honestly, it's very refreshing. It is different. It's very enjoyable and easy on the eyes. So there you have it.
Yes. All right. Corey, what have you been playing with Power?
Well, I popped in Paper Mario just to say that I popped it in. It is very beautiful. I haven't gotten far enough in to even remotely have any sort of opinion, except that it's a pretty game. It's been what else was I playing? Oh, I'm still struggling through Final Fantasy VII because
why are you doing this to yourself?
Because I hate myself. I just it's to the point where like I keep putting it off, and then I'll play like a half hour of it, and then I am like slowly, my brain is just deteriorating rapidly, and I just am forgetting how to play it. So like now I'm just at this point where like anyways, I'm trying. So been playing that. What was the other game I played on Switch the other day? I was, after the Boss Rush podcast recording last week, Celeste was talking about Tears of the Kingdom, and so I started playing that again, and like it's just one of those things where like I just wandered around the world for about an hour and did like 5 or 6 shrines and then turned it off. But it was still like really fun. The shrines are the best parts of those games by far. I just want a game of shrines. I want a Captain Toad treasure tracker version of Zelda shrines. That's what I want. Just flip the page on the book, give me a shrine, and let's go solve shrines, and then give me a sticker, and I'll just move on.
I want to Captain Toad Part 2.
Yeah, where's that sequel? Man, there's so many sequels on the Switch that we didn't get that I really want. But then we got like multiple sequels of other games that I wanted, so it's fine. But I do have Show and Tell, which hopefully I'll be able to put these videos online soon-ish. But I got the Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
Yes.
It's called Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Definitive Works Set. And
that's
so
awesome.
It has the game, but it has a massive art book inside too. So I got that. And then the other thing that came was the Fire Emblem Three Houses collectors.
Yes.
The Seasons of Warfare edition is what it's called. And it has a really nice steel book in it. And so at some point, once I get all
the
these
packaging is beautiful.
I know this packaging is like almost perfect. There's like a little clip on the edge up here, but it's like it's still sealed. Like, so side tangent, everybody. I've been selling a lot of stuff and recurating my gaming collection, and I'm like, well, which Switch collector's editions did I want that I never got? And So I just went on eBay and bought a bunch, and these ones came in, and I have Fire Emblem Engage coming in. I have Xenoblade Chronicles 3 coming in. I found a Tokyo Mirage Sessions one yesterday for like super cheap, the Wii U Collector's Edition. So that came in. That's coming in. What else did I get? There's something else that I got. I got some amiibo. So yeah, I just I gotta look now. But I'm just getting collector's editions that I missed, and so my goal right now is just to get the collector's editions that I missed, because I figure the regular editions of games should theoretically be easier to get. But
Yeah,
I
I'm trying
also,
to. Oh, sorry. I thought there was a pause there.
I mean, there kind of was, but what were you saying, Steph?
Oh no, I just, in a sense, I'm trying to kind of right the ship as well. I mean, I don't really have much I can sell, but I need to put a halt to just pre-ordering and buying collector's editions just because they're there and I can order it in knee-jerk reaction.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 coming, Fire Emblem Engage coming, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Wii U coming. And then I got the I'm gonna get the Link's Awakening Dreamers Edition, but I also found was selling the steelbook that was part of the European Dreamers Edition only, which is a Game Boy steelbook, and in the back, on the front, it has like the Game Boy logo, like it just looks like somebody turned a Game Boy on with Link's Awakening in it. And then in like the back just looks like the back of a Game Boy with a Link's Awakening cartridge in it, but you can open it up and it's like a book. It's like it's a case for the game. So
that's cool.
Yeah, and it was fairly cheap. It was $30.
Oh, that's not bad.
Which is like, yeah, okay, maybe for a steelbook that's expensive, but I mean,
actually, a lot of steelbooks are like that price.
Yeah. But I mean, anybody who's been listening to the show long enough knows that Link's Awakening was my first Zelda experience, and it's also like one of the only Game Boy games I have complete in box, and so I thought it'd be cool to have that.
Listen, man, you can't really put a price on what game means the most to you, and not only that, doesn't sound like your typical steelbook case. It's a pretty sick design.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I have that stuff coming. I also got the Xenoblade 2 amiibo that I was missing.
Yeah.
Yay.
I'm really trying to stay focused on games, though, like collector's editions of games. But that Fire Emblem statue, the Byleth statue, is like, I want to get it while it's coming down in price before it skyrockets in price. Because I was looking at some of the Xenoblade ones and the Zelda ones, and they have skyrocketed. Like the Twilight Princess Midna one last year at this point was like $100, and I was like, okay, well,
the statue?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And now it's like over $300.
Wow.
Oh no.
And I'm like, it's the Midna True Form statue, and it kind of lights up and has like the teal kind of glowing stuff around it. It's super cool. If I had something else to sell, I would sell it straight up for that, or trade it straight up for that. It's, man, Twilight Princess, what an amazing game.
So good.
I bought it.
Well, I'm suffering from the massive amiibo restock. I have at least a dozen coming from both PlayAsia and Nintendo, like any week now.
Nice.
Because they're like all the ones, like the Miis, how like there's like 3 different Mii people in there. So I got those.
I almost got them too, because like before that restock, those are like the hardest ones to find, and they're also the most expensive on eBay.
Shoot, I thought Wii Fit Girl was the hardest one to find. Because when Smash came out on Wii, it was Smash came out on Wii U, she was the hardest to get.
What does this mean? Since it's a reprint, would this mean that the original still will be very expensive, and then these will kind of just be not worth as much? Not that I'm doing it for the money, but I
mean, probably based solely on the box, because the reprint boxes have Switch logos on them now, in the original boxes
Yeah.
have Wii U and 3DS logos on them.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, and also like they've reprinted the Animal Crossing Villager like 4 times, so like their faces all look different and the boxes all look different, and it's just remember that was a big deal, Ed, when they reprinted the Villager amiibo and like the eyes were smaller and the nose was smaller, and they just like made the face kind of, they redid the face because the original print had like a huge face on it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Man, I remember at Toys, we was stuck with the like Animal Crossing amiibo. Then nobody buy it until we went out of business.
Oh
man! And guess what? Disney Infinities are still only like $3 and $4 on eBay. So
I guess you'll never know.
Yeah, except for Peter Pan. Peter Pan's like $300 as well.
Oh, the lie!
It was the last figure manufactured, but it was never released.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Anyways, that's a topic for a different day. But yeah, I'm very excited for some of these things. I'm debating on whether or not to get the Dreamer Edition first or the Xenoblade Edition first. Xenoblade is cheaper. So I might just get that first just to knock it out and have all the Xenoblade stuff. But
I say let. I'm like, because I want to see what comes from Nintendo Summer Direct, and if there's going to be a lot of port stuff.
That's the other thing. I'm trying to think of games that could possibly be announced. Like the rumors, we're getting another Fire Emblem Echoes game, and so like that's the other thing is like I want to get the Shadows of Valencia 3DS Collector's Edition, and it's relatively cheap too. And I'm like, do I get that? Do I not? Do I wait? Like, but I want to get these before the Direct, because if there's a Fire Emblem game that comes out this fall, all the collector's editions will skyrocket. If Monolith's next game is announced, all the Xenoblade games are going to go up. And so I'm like fighting in my head. Like the Zelda ones are going to be expensive regardless because it's Zelda, right?
Zelda.
So I can wait on the Link's Awakening Dreamers Edition, but plus I kind of got the only part of the Dreamers Edition that I wanted that didn't come with the American version. So I don't really know if I need it, but it's Link's Awakening, and I don't know. It doesn't even come with anything. It comes with like a art book, I think. I don't even remember what it comes with.
Shoot, I hope some of these collector's editions start coming to Best Buy more often. And I know the thing about me is if they come to Best Buy, most likely I would have to drive to Wisconsin to get them, because like folks in Illinois will just snag them up quickly, and people don't want to drive up to Wisconsin. But I'm like, shoot, if I find it and I gotta go where Jesse lives at, I'm gonna text Jesse, hey, I'm coming to visit. Also, I'm coming to go to Best Buy, so I'm snagging you, and we're gonna go get the game. Then we'll go out to eat.
Yeah.
I would make it a PTO day for me. If I find something that's releasing, I'm making it a PTO day. I'd be like, I'm going on a little trip, and I was straight headed to where Jesse is at.
So the Dreamers Edition only comes with the game and an art book. So I don't know. I don't know if an art book is worth it, but it might be, but it might not be. I'm so conflicted. Anyways, but yeah, that's my show and tell. And my new hobby. Mostly because I sold. The only reason why I got these is because I sold a Destiny Collector's Edition for a lot of money. So it would have been more, but eBay decided to take a lot of fees. And so anyways, but yeah, that's me.
All right. Well, everybody, we have been playing Hellblade 2, or better known as Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. This is for Series X and S, and also for Windows. I believe it's on Steam also.
Yeah, all Xbox games come to Steam day and date.
Okay, and plus it's available on Game Pass. I don't know if it's on Game Pass PC.
It is.
All
Xbox games come to Game Pass PC day one.
Okay, so it's on Ultimate. Okay. So yeah, so we all have been playing it. This game came out Tuesday, uh, last week, and let's just get into it. We're not going to try to spoil any parts of the game in case if you guys are planning on playing it or are playing it at this time. But we're just going to give our initial impressions about the game. I definitely would say this is the game that Microsoft needed. Series X, Ninja Theory, clown with Unreal Engine 5. This game is it surpasses impressive. This game is gorgeous. This thing is just, and the seamlessness of it from cutscene to while playing the games. I'm like, oh my god, goodness, this game is smooth. Like, and it just looks beautiful and everything. Like, they really wanted a cinematic experience. You're getting a cinematic experience, and
Yeah.
I was just the colors, the lights, and the shadows. I will say it is a very dark game, so you may have to adjust the screen to make it a little bit lighter at times. But man, I was just like, yeah, this is something that I don't even think no other system could do unless you're on PC. Like this is just like award-winning graphics. You
Yep.
know, this is like all that time that they put into making this game. I'm like, wow, it really paid off.
Yeah, I remember Corey saying, I think it was on Boss Rush, it could have been Pow Block, I don't know at this point, where Corey, you said like there was a point where I couldn't tell where the cutscene ended and where I had to move Senua again. That
Yeah.
happened to me today. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm supposed to move now.
It was specifically the part in the beginning when it's raining and you have to climb that like that small
Yeah.
hill, like the rocks on the hill.
Yeah.
That's like, because there's a part where you have to climb, and then she starts climbing by herself because there's like a small set piece thing that happens, and then after that set piece thing, you have to continue climbing, and then there's a bunch of parts because I actually got to play a little bit today, after I mowed the lawn and stuff, and it was like there was a couple parts today where I experienced that too. So yeah, are you playing on Steam Deck, Steph?
No, I'm actually playing on my Xbox Series X via Game Pass. So yeah, I'm enjoying. I don't know. I don't know. I like seeing it on a nice big TV, and I didn't I didn't put on my headphones this time around, but I will going forward because that is a game where it's just headphones.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, second one you said, Ed, as far as like a visual masterpiece, I was incredibly impressed, but it lingered in the back of my mind, like, the people kind of, how it says it came out with mixed reviews. The people who weren't down on it were like, "Oh, it's the similar story and the gameplay is the same." I'm like, I'm sorry, you're gonna shit on this game just because, like, I don't know, it carries gameplay traits of the first game. Why don't you rate the game by that game's merits, not how it compares to the first? And it just makes me so mad. And I get it, like maybe you just want them to change it up, but like that's more of a preference thing. It's not speaking to the actual quality of the game, and that actually makes me even more mad at those people that are criticizing it. Granted, I'm probably the least further along, or like just the newest. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that far along compared to you guys, but for what I'm getting so far, I love it. I do like the recap in the beginning because part of my struggle with playing the first game is I had no idea what the fudge was going on. I'm sorry, Corey, I have to edit that.
Yeah, that's fine.
The fudge was going on till the very end, and by then I was like slightly frustrated. Not to the game's fault, I'm just dumb. But with the recap, I'm like, okay, yes, refresher, perfect. Let's go, Senua. Let's get your revenge. Like, really great setup.
Yeah, I to your point on some of these people who have negative kind of opinions, I've played the game for probably, now granted, I'm probably only like an hour and a half in where I'm supposed to be, but I've played the game for like 3 hours so far, because I'm searching for the lore stones and the faces and stuff, and like I missed one somehow. I missed one and I can't go back and get it, so I'm gonna have to play it again. But which is fine because what I would like to do is replay the first game and the second game back to back now, and like I would like to like record it and just have footage of it, just to play around with and try to maybe do something with it someday. But yeah, I like where I'm at. I can definitely tell some people have not played past like the opening part of the game when they're criticizing the game, because like I'm like they're like all the enemies are the same. I'm like, I've definitely fought about 6 different types of enemies that aren't bosses so far, and they are all relatively different. Like you have like the sword bearers, and you have, you know, guys that wield speed axes, and then you have like the heavy sword and the heavy axe guys, and then you have like the
fire breathing ones.
Yeah, there's like the fire breathing enemies, and like it's just like yes, the combat is simple, right? You have your block, you have your dodge, and you have your heavy and light attacks. Okay.
And I'm sorry to say, this combat is so much better than the first game.
Oh yeah. And you know, when you find the mirror, right, kind of early on in the game, and you know, you learn how to like slow down time and do your like special attacks or whatever. It's like that's so much fun. I get it. If you didn't like the first game, you are not going to like this game, right? But as someone who is a big fan of the first game, not just because of the gameplay, but like Senua and the story that they're telling, and just how relatable that game has become in various aspects of my life personally, it's like this is the sequel I wanted, right? This is exactly what I wanted in a sequel. Senua is stronger. She's still kind of questioning things, but she's powering through it and being, you know, more I don't want to say aggressive, I guess more confident in her decisions. Yeah. And like, you know, I like that she's actually interacting with characters this time around. And you know, it's, for me, this is a wonderful game. And on Xbox it runs at 30 frames a second. Like I adjusted to that very, very quickly. It is a very smooth 30 frames a second. Like think Breath of the Wild, how you just don't think of that it's running at 30 frames. You know, and I know Nintendo games on Switch especially like just don't run at high frame rates usually, with some exception.
See, this is where I feel like I'm very not sophisticated. I would not have known that Hellblade 2 was 30 frames a second.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well,
this is smooth as butter.
Ninja Theory did say that it was going to run at 30 frames per second. And so when you watch the Digital Foundry review, they show like a red line showing this at 30. It was just like only time it gets like some hiccups and stuff, I think it's on the S. It's kind of like on Series S and some of the PC stuff when it was messing around. But it's just like if you play it the way that it came out just on your Series X, it's smooth as mother. And they even did comparisons when she's moving through the rock, like scooting down the rock. The frame rate doesn't stutter or anything.
The other reason why I think it feels so smooth is because the animations are deliberate, and it's a relatively slow moving game.
Yeah.
Which is also why you don't really notice it in Zelda a whole lot either, because those animations and the game is deliberately slow to compensate for the lack of frames. And so I love, just from a character design standpoint, I love the way Senua looks in this game. Like I love the character design in this game. I've taken more screenshots during this game than I think the last time I took this many screenshots was when Breath of the Wild came out.
I haven't taken no screenshots yet.
It's just you know, and part of me is like, you should just stop taking screenshots and enjoy the rest of the game, and then come back and, you know, do your recording and do your screenshot capturing and doing, you know, find the lore, like do everything and just experience the game for what it is. But like I can't stop. I have to show people how good this game looks. It's a It's a very wonderful game. The people who like the first game are going to love it, and I don't know. It's hitting me in all the right places right now, and it was that beginning after you get off the boat and after it stops raining, kind of when you're like probably that first kind of cut scene, I guess you would call it, after you get to the village for the first time. It just like really hit me kind of emotionally, really. Like, it's just like, I can't believe we got a sequel to this game, and it is everything that I wanted out of the sequel so far.
They brought back some good themes. That first village, a big focus was the past coming back to haunt you or haunt her, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that is it's very relatable. As much as maybe we don't really relate to her psychosis necessarily, but things that have happened to us in the past, whether it's something we did or something that happened to us that was out of our control, that may have traumatized us or impacted us in a big way, most of us, knock on wood, have been able to get past it. But that doesn't mean that, oh, we forget about it. Like, sometimes when we go through something similar or challenging in the future, it'll try to come back in an ugly way. So relatable.
Which I think with the voice acting is superb.
Chef's
Like,
kiss.
hearing just hearing the voices back and forth, telling Senua, like, don't go there or go there. What about us? And then when the kind of a little bit spoiler from the first game, the dad voice come back in, and that deep darkness, you hear it, and you just seeing Senua, just like, you will not have a control over me. I will not fall into your darkness. I will not give in. It's like, goodness, you see the strength that she has, and it's just like it really showcased her growth from the first game. But like even the even with the slave master or Vark, which he is a hot villain. I would say that.
Yes.
He is hot. I'm sorry, Corey. But his voice acting and like his design had my mouth on the floor, because I'm just like, your attitude matches the strength of your body. And then when you meet this other person, you be like, oh, okay, now I see. It has this yin yang feel to it, and I'm enjoying it, and everything. It's just, everything works so well. And okay, and to let everybody know, this is not a walking simulator game. This is not Death Stranding or what happened to Edith Finch and all of this, because that's what everybody is up. Where certain gamers are having this fake rage about this game that it's just a walking simulator, and because they don't like walking sims, they feel like this game doesn't deserve the praise and playing that it get. I'm just like, well, the same people who didn't like Death Stranding, y'all got mad because people on PC loved the game, and they never said nothing about Death Stranding being a walking sim. So why are some of the players getting mad about that and everything? So this game is just, I really want to know where the story is going to go.
Well,
and
supposedly they have already greenlit a third one.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
Ninja Theory now has 2 projects greenlit, and one of the projects is rumored to be the third one.
The third Hellblade.
Yeah, and
Okay.
because the other one's Project Mara, which is
Right.
psychological horror game that they're doing.
Well, I hope that's the case, because I'm really rooting for Ninja Theory to stay in business.
Yeah. Well, so I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they made a good point where, like, Tango Gameworks was just a game studio, right?
Mhm.
Very talented one, but just a game studio, right? Whereas Ninja Theory has, they have external development tools. They have a state of the art mocap studio. They have obviously mastered Unreal Engine in a way that only I think maybe the Coalition and Epic have probably mastered at this point. And so they have like a lot of assets that are worth keeping around for Microsoft to have in-house, which is probably why they are one of the safest studios at this point.
Plus, they didn't spend that much money on getting Ninja Theory compared to like ZeniMax.
Yeah, but they didn't. Yeah. I mean, I don't. From what I've heard, they're not going to close any more studios. They're just going to. I mean, there are layoffs coming at Microsoft again, but it's going to be more of redundancies than, like, oh, we don't need 75 accountants, we need 10 or whatever, right? So I don't know. We'll see, I guess. But this game just, there were a couple points where I couldn't believe I was playing a video game, and the thing I wanted to point out that you said, Ed, about like the walking sim stuff.
Yeah,
I actually really like that about the game, where like it is very clear when you are in an exploration / conversation / puzzle mode, and when you are entering a combat scenario. And I really appreciate that, because I don't have to guess. And it's not like I don't care about that in other games, right? Where like, oh, like Horizon or something, you always have to be, even if you're exploring, you always have to be like one eye over your shoulder to make sure, one of the robots isn't chasing you or something. Whereas this, it's just like, I'm in this spot. Okay. I'm exploring.
Right.
And
then with the combat, it's all 1-on-1. There's no one surrounding you.
Well,
so when you defeat in this aspect, it is like 1-on-1, because once you defeat it, someone will come in. It'll be like a cutscene. Someone will jump in, and that becomes the next fight for that 1-on-1.
I also like, from an artistic perspective later, and there are some control influences in this. Have you noticed that, Ed?
Yes.
Like how far you are with the
so the part, there's a part in the village that it blocks you, and you gotta kind of find these signs, and it's just like a little bunch of hands coming up that's floating and something. That's very a little bit control. When you go into like you're talking about when you go into the dreamscape with your dad and stuff, and it's like this kind of mirror reflection.
Yeah, like the shattered glass
and it
thing,
breaks.
And you have to find ways to break the glass.
To break it, yeah.
And then like the very red lights with the shadow figure in front of it is very control.
Yes.
Like I'm getting a lot of control vibes from some of these dreamscape places that you go into, and I'm not complaining. It's cool. It's very cool. It's very different for this world, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much else to say about it at the moment. After we record tonight, I'm going to sit down and beat it, because I don't care how long it takes me. I don't care how long I have to stay up. I'm just going to stay up and beat it.
I will say this: phenomenal soundtrack. The music is like Ninja Theory was not playing with this game. This money that they got from Microsoft, you see it all on screen. You hear it to the audio. The music is just like, oh, if y'all don't have a soundtrack, or y'all don't get a symphony out this mug, y'all don't get a Symphony of the Goddess out on this game. I don't know what this soundtrack is. Breathtaking.
I would really like to see the inevitable limited run physical edition that comes out from this come with some sort of thing like that.
Do you think they would do that? I just feel like, because it's all coming through Xbox, I never see I don't know. I just don't see physicals coming.
Well, they did limited run for, what did they do? They did it for Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
They did it for Psychonauts 2.
But not the original Hellblade, right?
Original Hellblade got a physical.
From limited run?
No, just in general for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
All right, yeah, so maybe okay. Well, then I'm definitely gonna keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I just I think that's going to hurt the sales of this game too. Personally, is like you just don't walk in and see, like, I don't know.
Hmm.
The people still go into stores and see games on shelves and look at the back of the box. There are still people
Yeah.
that do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of the times we all kind of forget that there are quote unquote normal people out there that just don't play a lot of video games and still go into stores and look, and they're like, oh, well, I'm kind of tired of GTA right now. I want something to change up the pace. And so they go into a store and check the back of the box and see what looks
Yeah.
interesting. And I don't
Yeah.
know.
If they don't go in the store, it's not, and those people like aren't avid followers like on
mhm.
Twitter, Instagram, and they might not know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think definitely for like still me, like you guys know that I still pre-order my games from Best Buy physically, and like if Hellblade 2 was that had come physically, oh, it would have been an instant must buy. Like I already know that I'm going to show Microsoft that you have a game sold by the box. Yes, I know you want to move more into the digital space, but physical is still important to a lot of us. Um, and if I could show you do sales, I would show you do sales on why physical is so much important. But like just this game, I don't know how it's going to do at the Game Awards. I don't know what people are going to say about it. I don't know. The Metacritic is changing. The people are bombing it. I don't care what people think about this game, in a negative sense. But this is one of the highlights for Microsoft for the Series
Mhm.
Hmm.
X. If this is the breath of the wild for Microsoft. Like if you was going to get a Series X, you need to make sure you have your Game Pass, or you need to have your money ready and get this game. Like this, like hell, like I, no disrespect to PlayStation 5, but I don't think anything on that system at this moment is touching Hellblade 2, and that's saying a lot.
Is
People
there?
might. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, finish. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Is there a way, because I'm not really good with it because it's on Game Pass, where Microsoft is able to report on its success?
They don't report numbers in terms of how many copies it sold. They report user
On
engagement
players.
because
Yeah.
of Game Pass, and
Okay.
which is something that's been criticized of them since the Xbox One, which rightfully so, because like their games just don't sell. None of their games have
Mhm.
charted in the top 25 since I think Gears 4 was the last one that charted in the top 25. Um, maybe Halo 5, but yeah, I mean, to your point though, Ed, this, I mean, not really your point, I guess it's my point, but this is the first game I really thought that this is why I bought this box. And the box has been out since
Mm-hmm.
for 4 years, 4.5 years already. And like, yes, a lot of the technical things that happen on other games, like I can play Destiny at 4K 60 frames a second now instead of 30, or uh the increased frame rates and stuff for backwards compatibility is all nice, and the upgraded versions of games is very nice, but this isn't anything I couldn't have experienced on the other consoles, right? And it's the same way with some of the games on PlayStation, right? I mean, Horizon, as much as I love Horizon, that's a PS4 game. As cool as God of War is, that's a PS4 game. There's a lot of definitive editions of PS4 games on the PS5, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time since, I mean, this is the first time I think maybe ever that I thought this is why I bought this box.
Mhm.
Visually,
Yep.
and just, yeah, the way, like the way the environment changes throughout the game instantly, the way a lot of this stuff, like a lot of the effects are happening because of what the box can do.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the only thing that this game doesn't do that maybe it could do someday through a patch or something, is run at 60 frames a second. And I actually think a higher frame rate would ruin this experience, like the experience of the game. Later on, if you want to play it at 60 frames because you need to go back through and find collectibles or just play it again to see what the combat feels like at 60 frames, sure, why not? But like, this is supposed to be a cinematic narrative experience, and I feel like a higher frame rate would kind of ruin that. But I would have to ask a PC player who's played it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
it runs at 60 on PC.
Because I know they said the full experience is like 5 to 6 hours for this game, which is fine.
Perfect. Great.
It's for what, but there's so much narrative that it offers, so much content that it offers. You're taking it all in. You don't need a 14, 16 hour experience with this game. You need something that is going to be straight direct, that you're going to get something out of it. I still love that picture of that part where the hands are coming out, touching Senua. Like, that people might find creepy, but it's so artistically well done. I just like, shout out to Ninja Theory, and a lot of people did give them their props and everything. And reason why we're speaking about this on a Nintendo show is because when Nintendo still does the same thing artistically, music wise, narratively, and everything, we want to give them their props too. I still say, I'm like, go play Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and just get that narrative and that artwork and everything. You would be amazed. Like Paper Mario Thousand Year Door Remaster and Ninja Theory has probably made this week or a lot of gamers completely happy, because it's just been about the games. There's been there's been some negativity here and there, and some competitiveness, but I'm like, to me, with these two games, there's no discourse. They're video games that people should enjoy. And I'm not even worried about the sale numbers. I'm just happy about the experience that I'm getting with these games. Any final words, you guys, before we get into family news?
This is the game I've been waiting for. I mean, that's all I really have to say. This is the experience I've been waiting for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm glad we got it. And I really hope Ninja Theory is around long enough to make the third game.
Yep.
Yes.
I might not have been like a staunch avid fan since day one, but purely by the art and talent, I am so glad to have finally hopped on the Hellblade train, and I absolutely adore the quality of work that they put in, and I plan on enjoying and savoring every minute of this game.
All right.
It's an exceptional experience.
Yeah.
It really is. Yes.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.
Well, everybody, we're going to get into family news. Corey, take it away.
All right. Well, we've definitely scraped the bottom of the barrel this week for some news. So we're probably going to fly through a lot of this so we can get to questions, because those are more fun. Insider Gaming has reported that Doom: The Dark Ages will be announced at the Xbox Showcase, and will be getting a multi-platform release. So the only reason why I put this in, is because it's one of the biggest news stories of the week, but also Doom and Doom Eternal both came to Switch, and all the Doom games are available on Switch. And the way that Panic Button has been, somehow magically putting Bethesda games onto the Switch somehow, in some way, I would be very happy the Switch got another Doom experience. This experience is rumored to be taking place during the Middle Ages, and so you would be running through, castles and whatever, fighting off
That's
demons with, your big sword and probably some guns, I'm sure. I don't know. That's the rumor. We did hear about this game kind of codenamed Doom Year One when that Xbox FTC leak stuff happened. Clearly they've changed the title, but this still kind of sounds like the rumors that they were presented at the time. So I don't know if anybody's interested. I played through Doom on the Switch early on in this podcast life, and it was a good experience, especially after they put a few patches in, but it was a good experience. Yeah. It's not the ideal way to play Doom, but it is a good experience if you want to take it on the go. So
it's just impressive what Panic Button was able to do with what that was handed to them, and they executed within the limitations of the Switch and did a terrific job. Same thing with like Wolfenstein 2. Like they did a terrific job. I think this game probably will be on Switch successor. I think the thing though is if Panic Button does do the port, and I hope they do, it probably won't be into I would say like a year and a half later after this game initially comes out. I think it's going to probably what happened is just like it'll be out on Xbox and PC and Steam and stuff, and then it'll come to PlayStation 5 a little bit later or whatever next platform they decide to have it, and then Nintendo would get it a little bit later. If Microsoft and Nintendo still got a great relationship, if Panic Button got a great relationship, I could see Microsoft returning back to the multi-platform stuff with Bethesda, and if this helps them sell wise, I really think it would be a good idea for them definitely to put Doom, this new Doom game, rumored Doom game, I should say, on the Switch successor.
Yeah.
Because I definitely think that out of anything, if the Switch successor is like really successful, and the physical sales are still doing numbers or like and stuff, Microsoft would be crazy not to put it on Switch and try to get those success numbers. I mean, 1 million copies just of Doom alone on Switch, something that
you throw around 1 million sales a lot, Ed. That number means nothing in 2024.
Yeah,
that's like a game selling 10,000 copies in 1990.
Yeah, but don't forget, Bethesda hasn't worked with put anything on a Nintendo console. This is before they was brought. So to see that number, to show that Bethesda that we will buy their games, I'm like, I think Microsoft would be good with it. I mean, they would want more, but like just 1 million sales on one platform, like in a short amount of time, that's impressive.
Yeah,
especially for a developer. Yeah, especially for a developer, and I'm just speaking about the first Doom. That could literally change with the next platform. Who knows?
Yeah. Stephanie, you have any thoughts on Doom: The Dark Ages?
Particularly, I've never been a huge Doom fan, and you can guess because first-person shooter is not my genre, but I love the fact that it's set in medieval. I might just hop on and give that a whirl. Definitely could see this coming to Switch, whether it's now or the successor. So my input's really nothing that enlightening.
Yeah, I think this will probably be a 2025 game. I don't know. I think this is going to be across the board, day and date on all platforms except for the Nintendo platform, and then it'll be ported later, just like everything else. Because A, they may need time to learn the new system, and B, Nintendo loves to control the message. Which is why Hi-Fi Rush was not announced for Switch when it came to PlayStation, because it's going to be probably shadow dropped at the Direct in June, which is what I've been hearing. But yeah, it's More Doom.
I will say this, depending on when the successor releases, I think this game will be a good launch game or launch window
Yeah,
game. I think
that'd be
for
a
Nintendo,
solid.
that would be a
Yeah.
good one.
Theoretically, yes, but two things. One, there won't be enough systems to sell the game at the numbers that Microsoft wants or Bethesda wants. And B,
True.
they're going to want to sell Metroid Prime 4, which is also a first-person experience. Not necessarily the same game, but it's still
I see. Yeah.
first-person.
No, I gotcha.
shooter thing.
And Nintendo's going to obviously want to prioritize their IP, so that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, next story. Ioun Chronicle 100 Heroes has revealed their 2024 DLC roadmap. I know a lot of people have really been enjoying this game. And so the roadmap has kind of detailed their DLC, which is, I can't read Japanese, but they put out this really nice graphic. It features 3 extra stories. Marissa's story is set to arrive in August. Sign's story will follow in September, and the third story, which does not have a name yet, will be set for October. So for those of you who are looking forward to more Ioun Chronicles, there you go. Ed, you just got it.
Yes.
So enjoy your DLC. Please be excited.
Yes.
Remember when Square said that at their E3 press conference for,
oh wow,
what was it? I think it was Kingdom Hearts 3, I think is where it was. And they were like, please be excited. It was like, because somebody was translating it for them on the fly, and that's what it translated to. So everybody just made a big meme out of please be excited. So I don't know if anybody has anything else to say about Ioun Chronicles DLC. I do not.
Not particularly.
Of course, I had something to say.
I know. I'm excited that it is getting DLC, that they're planning on doing it. I just hope that most of it will be out, or probably at least half of it will be out by the time Suikoden 1 and 2 come out and everything. Because I just don't want, when that game comes out, if people who are big into RPGs are going to play Suikoden and forget about Ioun Chronicles in the DLC. I just want to be, hopefully people be able to play both and enjoy both. If Suikoden is done right, Konami. Let's make sure that it's together.
Okay. Next in the news, Atari has announced that they have acquired the Intellivision brand for their IP and the brand. So the first ever console war is over, everybody. For you, Atari, 800 versus the Intellivision, I think is what it was at the time. So Atari has announced that they've purchased Intellivision brand and more than 200 games from Intellivision Entertainment. As part of the deal, Intellivision Entertainment will rebrand and continue developing and distributing the Amico game console with a license from Atari. And Atari will distribute new versions of the Intellivision games on console. So yeah, I mean, I think because they just brought back another Atari just bought another old brand as well. I forget what it was. What are some old Atari style brands? Ed, name them off. What developers were back then?
Intellivision, Activision, but Namco was one because they did Pac-Man.
It's an American company. Shoot.
That would have been 3. Most of Atari games was done in house.
I know, but there was another company that developed for Atari. I just forget what it was. Oh my gosh, I forget what it was. Anyways, because they're using it as another type of distribution brand. Oh my gosh, this is really bothering me now. I don't remember what it was.
I am useless in this department. Sorry.
That's okay. I am.
I mean, that's with my history with Atari. A lot of their games came from in house. So, and Nintendo, because they did Mario Brothers, on Atari, and that's the only one. That's the only system that you will find Mario Brothers. You won't
I'm
find
just
it
gonna go
anywhere
to the
else.
Atari website because that will maybe have something. Maybe that'll help. Maybe that'll help
Well,
me.
well, but Atari definitely seems like they're full steam ahead with kind of making themselves look and feel fresh.
Yeah, Infogrames was the name I was looking for, which is like an old PC publisher that actually Atari split. When Atari split into two companies, Infogrames became the name of the Atari group.
Okay.
And then Atari became a kind of like a licensing kind of brand. And they kind of split into two for a long time. They were split into two. And then one of the brands bought the other brand to try to unify the Atari name under one roof again. And so they brought back the Infogrames name to distribute different types of other games. So that's Jeez, my brain just broke.
Because I know when you mentioned that, Corey, I knew that was somehow connected to Atari. Because I think they were the ones that brought Atari back or something at one point. I think.
Yeah, I don't remember how it works right now. I would maybe something we can discuss on a different episode because I don't have time to look it up and really research it. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, Infogrames. So they have Intellivision, Infogrames, and Atari that will distribute based on the IP and based on what games fit where. And I think it's a really interesting strategy for Atari. I mean, we talked to Atari at PAX and you know, their CEO has been on multiple interviews that I've listened to, and they just seem like they're making some smart decisions.
Yes.
And they're not doing more. They're not biting off more than they can chew at the moment, which is nice to see for once from a developer. And a publisher. So good on Atari. The last bit of news here, I guess second to last, not really any kind of big news, but Resident Evil 6 has apparently sold over 1 million copies on Switch. Capcom reveals. Resident Evil sells very well on Switch, and even 6, which is a game that nobody likes apparently, even though it's the best-selling game in the series still to this day. I really liked 6, but that's because it's more like Gears of War than any Resident Evil game. So,
I'm still got like the 2 stories to play on it on Xbox. I put the game on easy because I kind of just want to run through it.
Oh yeah, you don't play those games on hard. Pass.
I know you play on normal, but like just to get through this one because of the way that it is. Yeah, I'll do it on easy.
Stephanie, are you going to play Resident Evil 6 on the Nintendo Switch?
Maybe not anytime soon, but it's not impossible.
It's always on sale. What's that reality?
Yeah, it's 10. The entire series is $10 on Switch right now. So like each game is $10, not the entire series is $10. But anyways, the other story that I didn't add here that I saw randomly, Nintendo's opening a store in San Francisco in 2025.
Who wrote the news article on Boss Rush?
Stephanie did.
Yes.
Go read it.
Guess what? It has something to do with San Francisco and Nintendo and a store that they're opening.
Ooh. Spoilers.
Union Station.
Read more to find out. Yeah, that's the news. So something I wanted to hit on before we get into questions. There's only one game in Pack Watch this week, everybody, so we'll get there. But Ed, I've had this theory that Nintendo has just secretly been putting out GameCube games on the Switch without anybody knowing until very recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I found 3 separate articles that said, "Here are all the GameCube games you can play on Switch right now, including the one I'm going to list off right here."
Oh boy.
We don't need to talk about any of these games. We don't need to talk about how right I was 3 years ago.
Before you go ahead, Corey, this is first and third party, right?
Yeah, this is first and third party, but
Okay.
still. Metroid Prime, Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 4, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, Tales of Symphonia, great game. Everybody plays Tales of Symphonia. I don't care if the Switch version is bad. Play it. It's so good. Pac-Man Versus, Pikmin 1 and 2, Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 1 and 2. I actually think the third one's coming out soon. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, great game. Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy, Cell Damage, 13, which I think the remake is actually pretty bad, but I'm not sure. Ikaruga, which is an Ed joint. Bat and Kados, Eternal Wings in the Lost Ocean, and then Bat and Kados Origins, which is also on sale right now for $20 digitally. Did not have a physical edition in North America. It's the only region that didn't get a physical edition for some reason. Let's see. Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, Alien Hominid HD, and then there's a special mention section, which are games that kind of have appeared either in collections or through alternate means. So what, Ed? What do you want? What do you have to say?
Yeah, Alien Hominid HD. That's a 361. I mean, even though
but the original Alien Hominid came out on the GameCube first.
Well, no, it actually was a Flash game on PC.
Well, I'm saying on console, Ed.
Oh, yeah, it got ported to console. Well, I'm just saying. The HD one though, I thought that one was already done. Like it was a 360 version that got ported to Switch.
Yeah. So Super Mario Sunshine is available on the Switch if you bought the 3D All Stars collection. That is available. Sorry if you didn't buy it because it's no longer available because it was a limited release for some reason. Smash Brothers Melee content is available in Smash Brothers Ultimate. There are Mario Kart Double Dash courses in Mario Kart 8. You can't use the dual driver system, but the courses are there. Super Monkey Ball and Super Monkey Ball 2 are also available on Switch in Sega's Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania collection, which is Monkey Ball 2, and Monkey Ball Adventure ? So there's a lot of GameCube games on the Switch, if you are wondering.
That's an impressive list.
Yeah. And I would be shocked if we didn't get at least 5 more before the Switch is over. I mean, Metroid Prime 2 seems like a sure thing with Metroid Prime 3, some sort of collection. I still think both Zelda games are coming at some point.
Twilight and
I would be shocked if like something like Luigi's Mansion ended up making over the first one, even though we're getting 2 right now.
I think that would be like 1 would be a shadow drop. That'd be cool. That'd be something.
There are a lot of great GameCube games that just need to be ported. I think there's a lot of Wii games that could be ported over too, because Ed, we've talked 100 times about how the GameCube is the perfect generation to HD remaster and sell for $40 or $50, which is exactly what they're doing.
I think that's why I'm just like, man, we need Beautiful Joe 1 and 2. Like that Beautiful Joe is important to the GameCube, and that needs to be out on Switch. Like Stephanie, like when you talked about the way that you talked about Ghost Trick, Beautiful Joe's like that same thing. Because I'm like, that's Clover, and that Clover led it to platinum. Like Beautiful Joe 1 and 2, them games was hot. The games was good.
They that team, Okami HD, is also on Switch, which technically
Yep.
not a GameCube game, but that generation. So
PS2.
I couldn't get
Yeah.
into it though, man. Oh man, just tried. I tried. I really tried.
It's so good, though. It's so good.
But yeah, I mean, even that and like in the Wii it's the perfect generation to just slap an HD coat of paint on, make them widescreen, and they're good to go. A lot of those games are made with 720p assets anyway, because the GameCube could technically output 720p if you had the component cables in the right setup. Not widescreen though, but
that's why I feel like Ubisoft really missed out without putting in like Sands of Time, Warrior Within.
I know, where's our Prince of Persia collection? Where's that collection at?
That trilogy, dude, if they would have sold that on Switch, man, I would have bought it with the quickness. What was it? Sands of Time, Warrior Within. What was the third game? The Lost
Two Thrones. Two Thrones.
The Two Thrones. Yeah, Warrior Within is really, really good.
Mm-hmm. And then they ended up making that sequel to Sands of, like it took place between Sands of Time and Warrior Within for Xbox 360 when the movie came out. That was also very, very good, and it didn't sell because the movie bombed and people were kind of over Prince of Persia at that point. Because I think people were still mad at Ubisoft that you had to buy the end of the last game as DLC. But that's a story for another day. Oh man, I did not like that the reboot, the cell shaded reboot. I did not like that game. I do like the new one though. The one
was that one that was the one that was on PS3 and 360, right?
Yeah, the one that was just called Prince of Persia. Yeah,
it was fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
I mean, I would say this: it looked good in motion, like their animation, like graphic wise in motion, it looked pretty good. Everything else was just like okay.
Yeah, Stephanie, if you don't know, the big kerfluffle about that game is that it just kind of ended, and they sold a DLC pack that was like the end of the game essentially. Like they made you purchase the end of the game, and it was like a 2.5 hour experience. Like the end of the game.
I don't know if you should capitalize the ending of a game. Like I don't think you should sell an incomplete game and then charge for the end. But
yeah. Well, this was at a point too where all these companies were still trying to figure out how to monetize people past the initial purchase, right? I mean, like remember all the online games, if you bought them used, you had to buy the online pass to play them online, which was like $10 or $15. And like, yeah, it was a weird time. Horse armor was $5. That was the big joke
for Oblivion.
Yeah. Good times. Speaking of good times, if you're looking for something to play this week, if we didn't convince you to play Paper Mario or Hellblade or one of these other games, you can buy Astor Blade of the Monolith, which is coming out on May 30th. Rip through hordes of enemies with fury and style in this fast-paced action RPG. Play as Astor, a young warrior determined to unveil the secrets behind his creator's unforeseen demise. Wield an arsenal of runic weapons to hunt the evil haunting the planet Jalise, and save it from impending doom. I actually watched some gameplay of this game, and it actually looks pretty cool, but I'm not going to buy it because I have too many other games to play, and I don't have enough time to play the games I want to play anyway. So maybe if it's on sale at some point, it looks interesting. I'll give it that. It looks cool.
Yeah, that's kind of the approach that I'm going to take here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to end up buying it because I love,
of course, you are
action RPGs. What? I just said I love action RPGs.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time, Ed.
Yeah.
Speaking of hard times, it's time for a question block.
Yes.
You can submit your questions in our Discord or on Twitter or emailing us or however you feel like getting us questions. Carrier pigeon, warp pipe, ocarina, who knows? Sam Hall writes in, what Nintendo console do you think deserves HD remasters, remakes now that we're seeing a lot of GameCube games make their way over? What do you want to see personally? Oh boy, where do I begin with this one? Everybody knows that I highly dislike the Wii. I hate that console so much with a passion, except for a select few games and a bunch of games that would actually be better with normal controls. Okay. So here's my list of Wii games. The Last Story, one of the best action RPGs that nobody ever played. And you could also throw Pandora's Tower in there too, which was the other action RPG that came over with Xenoblade that nobody ever played either. Oh my gosh, 2 really great Wii RPGs that nobody played, and it makes me sad. Zack and Wiki, Quest for Barbados Treasure, really cute action platformer game from Capcom. I still can't believe that hasn't made it out anywhere else. That game is incredible. You're telling me you can port the Klonoa games over, but you can't port Zack and Wiki? Come on. Let's be honest here. I would say Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles: The Crystal Bearers, which was a really interesting RPG on the Wii, and it never made it anywhere else. It was kind of a pseudo sequel to Crystal Chronicles, but it took place in the same world, but it was in the future, and it was really cool. It was really fun. Donkey Kong Country Returns, I think, deserves some sort of HD port. We got a 3DS port, but it's such an amazing platformer. And I like Tropical Freeze a lot. I think it's great. I think it's better in a lot of ways, but I also think the simplicity of Donkey Kong Country Returns makes it better in a lot of ways as well. And we need an HD port of that game, please. I'm going to say one of Ed's favorite games, Metroid Other M, I think would very much benefit from a normal control scheme. I think that game is underrated. I think it gets too much hate. I don't mind that Samus has a story. I'm glad Nintendo tried to put some effort into telling a story for once. Even if you don't like it, they tried, and I almost said Ninja Theory. Team Ninja did a great job with it. I actually really like that game a lot. What am I missing, Ed, from Wii? Well, I guess I don't need to ask you. I guess you guys can just go. But those are, Last Story. I want the Last Story on Switch.
So bad, dude. And it's not that no one bought the game. It was so limited in America that if you did not buy it, that was it.
Yeah, good luck trying to buy it now. Dude, I have my collector's edition sitting right there. It's one of the only Wii games I have left because I hated that console.
Yeah, it used to be. It's an Atlas style game that if you didn't buy it when you seen it, that was it. You weren't seeing it you just weren't going to see it. It's no stores like. Oh, go ahead.
You know what's cool about that game too is like they advertised it with the what was it, the classic controller, I guess is what they were calling it. Like they said, use this controller when you play it. And I think they actually sold like if you didn't buy the collector's edition, I think the game actually came with one. Like if you like, it was like an extra $10 and you got the classic controller with it.
Yeah, beautiful cover.
Mistwalker, man, I wish more people appreciated Mistwalker. I mean, you look at Blue Dragon, which was like a really great first attempt at their own RPG. Lost Odyssey, that's another game I wish would be ported off of the Xbox and put other places. That is the best Final Fantasy game nobody's ever played. Yeah. And they left it open for a sequel, and they never made one because nobody bought it, and they made The Last Story instead. And now they're making Fantasian, which is a great looking game, but it's stuck on Apple Arcade, and it's like, I don't want to play that game on my phone. I want to play it on the TV or on the Switch or something, that game.
And Man, I really think Miss Walker they would have thrived on Switch if they would have put their games out right now on Nintendo's console. They would have thrived in sale numbers.
I can't believe Microsoft isn't even considering, because they own the publishing rights to Lost Odyssey. They own the publishing rights to Blue Dragon. Like, and they're not even considering putting those games on other consoles, which is a shame, because out of all the games that they have that they should put on other consoles, it's those ones. But Fantasian. I'm going to go back to that for a second. For those who don't know about Fantasian, look it up. All of the entire game is a physical set. Like, they built out the entire world of that game in a studio, and like they did that thing where like they take thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures of the set and they import it into the game, and then they put the characters on top of the set. And so like it's this big physical set that you're walking around with these digital characters, and it's absolutely amazing how good it looks. It's got that kind of isometric arts or camera where like I guess I Am Setsuna kind of does that, and there's a couple other RPGs that do that, but like it's just a very beautiful game. And man, Mistwalker, what a awesome studio that just never. I feel so bad for them.
I would say this: if Nintendo snagged Mistwalker to put them under their belt, they may become one of the most powerful RPG companies ever. That if you think that because Sega owns Atlas and Square Enix is itself, you Monolith Soft and Mistwalker together,
they would be in the top 3 for sure. You know, because I mean, Mistwalker is made up of a bunch of ex Final Fantasy people, Sakaguchi. You know, and that's why Lost Odyssey was so heavily praised, and how Xbox got a Final Fantasy game of their own finally. And man, that game had 4 discs. Kaim is a great character. The story about the Immortals and how they've just survived, and how, you know, over time their memory is degraded, that they just kind of forget who they are sometimes. And like, it's just, that game is amazing, and I wish more people got to play it, and they never will, because it's stuck on the Xbox 360.
It has so much potential. It literally has so much potential. Like, people who revisit the game of Lost Odyssey and play all the way through, they're still blown away every time they play that game. It's insane.
And with backwards compatibility on the Series X, like, it's rendered in 4K now. It runs at 60 frames a second, and with the HDR,
and the game was
into it,
dude. They made the game free.
I know, it was free
at one point.
For 3 years, it was free.
You literally could shut down a free game. That's crazy.
I know. I mean, it's on sale all the time now, but like. Anyways, I'm done ranting about Lost Odyssey and the last story. I mean, I'm not done, but I'm done for the sake of this podcast, because I know everybody's kind of we want to talk about other things and go home, go to bed or something.
Stephanie, anything for you? Well, I'm very bad at coming up with a lot of titles, because I'm not as sophisticated connoisseur of gaming back then, so I have a two-part answer. My first was one that Corey stole. I was thinking of the Wii, because we're already going through GameCube. We're getting some Wii U ports. So I thought with Wii, because I thought of Skyward Sword, right? The thing that the Wii and Switch, in a sense, have in common is they technically have motion controls, whether or not you love it or hate it. I actually liked it. I'm one of the weirdos that actually liked the Wii. But at the same time, Nintendo was able to update a game like Skyward Sword to have manual or standard controls. So I feel like there are a lot of, they don't have to port the entire library. I feel like there's a few that maybe Corey had mentioned that maybe I have not had the experience to play. Bring them over from the Wii days, bring some of the games that were revolutionary back then to the Switch. And the other one is more of a very personal bias, and that's N64 games, because they're old and they're ugly. They're very ugly. but that's the system I kind of grew up with. So man, and I know
Mhm.
Nintendo would never do that. They won't. Like they won't go that far back. I'm sorry. I know it.
Th-
I'm willing to bet a paycheck on it that they're not.
They did it with Mario 64 though. It's on that 3D collection and it's in HD and it looks like a Nintendo 64 game in HD.
That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, other than that, other than Mario, right? Do you like? I always want a remake or remaster, a true remake or remaster of Ocarina of Time. I can tell you this is not going to happen because that's what a lot of us want, and Nintendo will not give us what we want.
Oh,
So
Nitsy don't want them coins.
they don't.
Nitsy don't want them. If they want to continue to be number one in Japan and become number one in America, that would be the game. And as a collector's edition for like $80, oh shoot!
Mhm.
I would. A couple years ago, I would have said they would have never done it. I would bet that they will plan something for that game.
Maybe around the time the movie comes out, because they did a whole bunch of Mario. I mean, maybe I don't know.
Maybe just because, like, you know, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Let's be honest, they're going to come to Switch or Switch 2 at some point. They're already done, right? You just got to put it on the cartridge instead of a disc. Just file save as Switch instead of file save as Wii U, and we'll be fine. I know that's not how games work. Everybody, relax. But the only other 3D Zelda games that aren't available on somewhat modern hardware are Ocarina and Majora's Mask. I mean, the 3DS got versions, but like, I think you could totally somehow in some way do an anniversary edition of Ocarina of Time that is fully remade, fully kind of visualized, maybe, you know, give it the Master Quest treatment, give it that option as well.
Maybe.
I mean, you could also remake Majora's Mask and package them together because they're direct sequels or directly related to each other and put it out as some sort of anniversary collection.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, I think they might do that.
I hope. But other than the obvious examples, there are two podcasts that I've been listening to that have been literally going in chronological order of all the N64 games that released, and they've made me realize a bunch of things. I loved those games back then because I didn't know any better and I had no idea what I was doing, and I was renting them from Blockbuster, so I only had to deal with those games for a weekend. Going back and playing those games now mostly play like poo. And I feel like, hey, why don't you remake games that need the most remaking? And since everybody thinks 90s is retro, which I guess 90s is retro, that's kind of the decade, right? We're in, well, the beginning or whatever. So, hey, let's go. But again, it's not going to happen. It's got the NSO, and I think that's where it's just going to be. But
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I think
a girl can dream. Right, Paxel?
Give us some GBA stuff too, though, right? Like, I mean, give us some Minish Cap kind of remake as in the style of like a Link's Awakening, or give us Metroid Zero Mission and Dread style. Man, could you imagine?
Dude, my soul is not ready to fall out for that. Just even thinking about it. For me to answer this question, I'm just going to give 3 games, 1 per system. For N64, Mischief Makers. For GameCube, Eternal Darkness. For Wii, Muramasa the Demon Blade. That's it.
Yeah, that's another game. I'm surprised never got some sort of HD treatment. Is Muramasa, the way that people love Vanillaware? I mean, Odin Sphere got one. Why can't Muramasa get one?
And Odin Sphere was on PS2, one game that was super hard to find.
I know, and Muramasa was on. I mean, it was technically on PSP, but like, why? Can't we get him?
Yeah, I think Odin Sphere needed the remake because I think they was just like the frame rate was slow. I think it was like 15 to 10 frames per second for the game.
Man, I'm of the mind that all these games should just be available everywhere all the time. Just give it to me. Let me buy it. I don't care where it is, what it's on. Just let me have it. Speaking of games that people want, Lasby writes in via Discord. He asks, when will we get another Mario Baseball? Have you seen the track record of Mario sports games lately? They're poor.
But they still keep making it. I say Switch 2.
Yeah, that would be the next one on the list, right?
There is a possibility that it'll show up on this Nintendo Direct next month.
I was saying the same thing. We'll either get a Mario sports game of some sort or a Mario Party game.
Oh, that's a good point, because it's kind of, I don't want to call it a throwaway game necessarily, but it is a punch glass for emergency kind of situation, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I could see it coming out this year, honestly. Mario Baseball. What sports games have they've done? They did tennis, golf, soccer. What other sports games have they done? Is that it for Switch? Sports.
Yeah.
Nintendo sports they did.
Well, Nintendo on NES did have volleyball, but there hasn't been a Mario volleyball game or anything.
Where's Punch Out? That was the Wii game. I was forgetting.
That would definitely make it amazing remaster, cleaning up the graphics. Like that, I mean, it already looks beautiful on Wii. Bringing that mug to Switch with some more definition, some
they
more like
arms. They already did arms. They could do Punch Out if they did arms. They could do Punch Out. Just saying, just throwing it out there. Free idea, Nintendo. Go ahead, take it. HD, $40. Put it out. Give it to me. But Mario Baseball, yeah, I would say it's probably coming this year. I wouldn't expect a 10 out of 10 though. A solid 6.
I guess we have it. Wow, shade.
I mean, man, I was so disappointed with Mario Golf. I wanted it to be good so bad, and it just was not good.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was playable. It was fine from a playability standpoint. It was fine, but there was no. I don't know. Anyways, I don't have time to get into that. We're gonna get into our final thoughts here. Get me out of here. Help.
All right, everybody. It is time for final thoughts. Stephanie, what is your final thought?
Well, my final thought initially, I put the note down, was for Nintendo opening a store in San Francisco, because it wasn't listed on the doc. But I don't know if I really want to get into my thoughts on that. I might read an editorial for it. So can you get back to me on what my new final thoughts could be?
Sure. So my final thought is, we know that Nintendo did a acquisition. What was the name, Corey, of him?
Shiver Studios in Miami.
Shiver
Florida.
Studios. Yeah, and I know me and Corey has been talking about them kind of being like almost a porting house in a sense, and Nintendo's still going to allow them, even as they own them, to still do ports for other consoles like multi-platform and probably PC stuff. And my thing is, I think this is so cool. It's going to probably lead up to a lot of speculation for the successor of what games can be ported from Nintendo's, library of games that could show up on the successor that they can do. And it said that they do good work. So this was literally something exciting to see, and definitely from the Embracer Group, I didn't even know that Nintendo would even make something like that with a purchase. It seems like their little investments that they've been doing has really played off. So I'm excited to see what this new business adventure produces. And I wonder who else would Nintendo be buying in the future. Like I said earlier in our discussion, if they end up acquiring Miss Walker, that would be such a big powerhouse move for them. And of course, They wouldn't get Zelda. They wouldn't get Fire Emblem, but that even though Fire Emblem would, no, Fire Emblem got to stay with Koei Tecmo in the Tetris system. Um, I really wonder what RPG that Miss Walker would create and put on the Nintendo system, and would completely show the greatness of that developing company and everything. And I think that Nintendo got the money to pick them to buy them. So I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what this business venture produces. Corey, you want to take us out with your last final thought?
Yeah. So not really video game related, but people may or may not know that I am a pretty big Disney fan, especially like the history of the company and important figures coming from them. And so one of the last remaining original Disney legends, Richard Sherman, famous for writing like songs from Mary Poppins and Jungle Book and classic animated films, also wrote a lot of the classic theme park attractions like Small World and Carousel of Progress, Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, stuff like that. He passed away this week at the age of 95. He was part of the Sherman Brothers, which were they were the part of Walt's inner circle. Like you always hear about the Walt's inner circle and the animators and the musicians that he kept really close to the chest. They wrote over 200 songs for TV, film, and theme parks over the course of 7 decades. They were nominated for 9 Academy Awards and won 3 Grammys, including a Best Original Score for Mary Poppins Chim Chimmery. Sorry. And Richard Sherman worked all the way up until 2023, where he composed music for the live action Winnie the Pooh movie, Christopher Robin, which has Ewan McGregor in it. If you haven't seen it, it's a pretty cute movie. He wrote new lyrics and songs for the live action Jungle Book movie. And he wrote some music for an animated short by another Disney legend, Andreas Deja. But the last thing he ever recorded was last year for the 100th anniversary Disney animation special called Once Upon a Studio, which just runs through a quick history of the animation studio. It's on Disney Plus if you want to watch it. It's very cute and fun and just a trip down memory lane if you're a Disney fan. And so he also did one of the things he was really known for, though, was when every time Walt had like a bad day or like a bad week or something, Walt's favorite song, the Disney song, was Feed the Birds and Mary Poppins. And so he would ask Richard to play the song and they would sing it together and play it. And he's also the last remaining person alive until this week that was allowed to play the piano in Walt's studio, which still exists, still in Walt's original studio. And
oh wow.
So his brother passed away in 2012, but he did a lot of great things, and a lot of the iconic songs that you think of when you think of Disney, he had some sort of involvement in it. So, yeah,
That's off to you, sir.
Yeah, there's only 2 original Disney legends still alive. Orlando Ferrante, who was part of the animation and Imagineering circle early on in the theme park days, and then Bob Gurr, who is has a pretty big Instagram presence right now. He's like he's 92 years old, and all he does is film like really funny videos on Instagram of him at like Disneyland or the parks or the studios or whatever. He's pretty funny. But yeah, he's 92. So yeah, that was my final thought. It was, Sherman Brothers were really important to that company. for, I mean, like I said, 6 or 7 decades worth of music. So
When did they post a story that he passed away?
yesterday, I think.
Oh, Saturday. Oh, okay.
Maybe Friday. I don't know. I don't remember. It was Friday or Saturday. So
Okay.
But yeah, I guess that's my final thought. Sorry, I take it on a downer, but
Nope, I can swoop in and recoup my lame initial one. Because you mentioned all the collector's items that you got earlier, made me think of, and I wrote a news article on this, that there are going to be a couple of blowout summer sales for you indie and or physical collectors. Limited Run is hosting a massive sale starting tomorrow Eastern Standard Time. So by the time you listen to this, it'll be too late probably, but and then Super Rare Games too will be on the 30th. So grasp your wallets.
Yes.
I want the Knights of the Old Republic 2. And I also, I mean, it's been sold out forever, but I think Persona 4 Golden would be cool to have, so I could have all the Persona games physically finally. Which is another series I still want to play through, and I just haven't had time. Play through 4 on the
I still got my limited run from PAX right here. So yeah, but I need 4. I need 4 golden.
Yeah, good luck.
And yeah, they didn't have it at PAX. That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Someday I'll be in the area to go visit their store, but I need another reason. I can't go there just for that.
Sure you can.
I gotta save up my. It's in one of the Carolinas.
Oh, well, that's too far.
There you go. Anyway,
What?
shopping.
Well, everybody, that's going to be it for Nintendo Pow Block. Stephanie, thank you for joining us. Corey, you know you my bro here. I love when you come on the show. Everybody, have a great week.
When I come on the show every week.
Well, yes. Everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you next time on Nintendo Pow Block. Bye, everybody. Woo!
Bye.
Goodbye. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Deering, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.